By 1944, the Red Army was no longer on the defensive. The tide had turned, pushing the front lines beyond Soviet borders and toward the heart of Europe. However, a formidable obstacle remained: German heavy armor and heavily fortified urban strongholds. To shatter this final line of defense, the Soviets deployed a new heavy assault tank. Its name was simple. Its mission was absolute: the IS-2. The Battle of Kursk in 1943 marked a turning point that exposed a harsh reality. German Tiger and Panther tanks posed a lethal threat to Soviet armored formations. The aging KV-1 series was no longer sufficient for the battles ahead. A more powerful gun, stronger frontal armor, and a modernized design were no longer optional, they were necessary. From this urgency, a new tank series named after Joseph Stalin was born. The IS-1 served as an initial step, but it was quickly replaced by a far more capable successor, the IS-2. The IS-2 was a heavy tank weighing approximately 46 tons, designed for breakthrough operations. Operated by a crew of 4, its layout reflected a clear shift in Soviet armored philosophy. The most important structural improvement came with the 1944 production model, a single-piece, sloped frontal armor plate, which significantly increased protection while maintaining reasonable weight. At the core of the IS-2's firepower was its primary weapon, the 122mm D-25T gun. This cannon was capable of penetrating the frontal armor of German Tiger and Panther tanks at standard combat ranges. Equally important, it could destroy concrete bunkers, fortified buildings, and defensive positions with a single, high-explosive round. This destructive capability, however, came with a limitation. The ammunition used a separate loading system, with the projectile and propellant loaded individually. As a result, the IS-2's rate of fire was limited to 2 to 3 rounds per minute. The IS-2 entered frontline service in early 1944. Its role was clearly defined. It was not designed for fast maneuver warfare, but for breaking through prepared enemy defenses. When confronting German heavy tanks, IS-2 crews relied on ambush tactics and carefully aimed first shots rather than sustained duels. A single, well-placed 122mm hit was often decisive. The IS-2's true effectiveness, however, emerged in urban combat. In Warsaw, Budapest, and ultimately Berlin, IS-2 units advanced alongside infantry, neutralizing fortified resistance points. They engaged enemy positions by firing directly into building facades and upper floors, suppressing defenders before ground troops advanced. In these conditions, the IS-2 functioned not as a tank hunter, but as a mobile siege weapon. Its maximum road speed was approximately 37 kilometers per hour, prioritizing protection and firepower over mobility. The slow reload time and limited onboard ammunition posed challenges during close-range engagements. Nevertheless, its thick frontal armor, powerful main gun, and relatively straightforward mechanical design made it suitable for prolonged frontline operations. Within Soviet doctrine, the IS-2 was employed as an assault tank, operating in close coordination with artillery and infantry formations. When used in this role, it proved highly effective during the final phase of the war. When the fighting ended in 1945, a large number of IS-2 tanks remained in active service. Many were stationed across Eastern Europe during the immediate post-war period. The IS-2's design directly influenced later Soviet heavy tanks, including the IS-3 and the T-10. During the early years of the Cold War, it formed a key component of Soviet heavy armored forces. Today, The IS-2 is not remembered for speed or technical complexity. It is remembered for one defining quality: impact. This was the story of the IS-2, the hammer of the Red Army. A tank built not to hunt, but to break through. For more deep dives into the history of armored warfare, make sure to like and subscribe to Tank History.